In the sprawling interstellar port of Zalera Hub, nestled at the edge of the Andromeda Galaxy, Jack maneuvered through the crowd with the ease of a man familiar with the cosmos. His eyes, accustomed to scanning horizons of distant planets, now observed the diverse throng of beings that frequented this galactic crossroads. As he approached a stall selling rare celestial maps, his attention was drawn to a commotion nearby. A crowd had gathered around a newcomer, an alien whose vibrant appearance stood out even in such a diverse place. She was Lyra, her skin shimmering with a subtle luminescence that reminded Jack of the northern lights he had once seen on Earth. Curious, Jack edged closer, just as the alien looked around, her expression a mix of fascination and slight confusion. Seizing the moment, Jack stepped forward with a friendly smile. "First time at Zalera Hub?" he asked, his voice warm and inviting. Lyra turned towards the sound, her eyes lighting up with curiosity. "Yes, I am Lyra from Eridani." "It's very overwhelming," she replied, her accent thick but her words clear. "Jack," he introduced himself, offering a hand, which Lyra took hesitantly, unfamiliar with human customs but eager to learn. "It can be a lot to take in your first time. Need a guide?" Lyra's smile widened, relieved. "I would appreciate that, Jack. I am here to learn about trade and cultures." "Well, you've come to the right place and found the right human," Jack chuckled, leading her away from the crowd. They walked through the bustling market, Jack pointing out various stalls and explaining their significance. "That's the Gorgalian spice trader. They sell flavors that can make your taste buds dance or cry for mercy," Jack explained, enjoying the way Lyra hung onto his every word. Lyra laughed, a melodic sound that drew curious glances. "And what about that?" She pointed to a stall draped in dark cloths with artifacts that pulsated with a soft glow. "Ah, those are relics from the Kali ruins. Ancient stuff, supposed to be full of wisdom from a lost civilization." Jack's tone held a hint of skepticism. Intrigued, they continued their tour, stopping occasionally to taste exotic fruits or to haggle over shiny trinkets. Jack was impressed by Lyra's quick grasp of human mannerisms, and her insightful questions showed an intelligent and inquisitive mind. As the galactic sun dipped below the horizon of the port, casting long shadows over the metallic structures, they found themselves at a small eatery that overlooked the docking bays. Ships of all sizes and shapes came and went, each carrying stories from distant corners of the universe. "Tell me, Jack," Lyra said as they shared a meal made from ingredients neither could pronounce properly, "what brings a human to Zalera Hub? What drives you?" Jack paused, his fork midway to his mouth. "Adventure, mostly. The thrill of seeing what's over the next horizon. And trade, of course. Humans are always looking to make a deal." Lyra nodded thoughtfully. "We Eridanians seek connections. We believe every meeting is a thread in the fabric of the universe." "That's a beautiful way to see it," Jack admitted, impressed by the poetic nature of her philosophy. "Maybe you can teach me a thing or two about Eridanian ways." "I would like that," Lyra said with a genuine smile. "And perhaps I could learn more about human ways from you?" Jack raised his glass in a toast, a human gesture that Lyra mimicked perfectly. "To new friendships and interstellar learning," he declared. "To new beginnings and shared journeys," Lyra added, clinking her glass against his. As the stars twinkled to life above Zalera Hub, Jack and Lyra's chance meeting felt like the beginning of an extraordinary adventure, one that neither had anticipated but both were eager to explore. The following morning, Jack led Lyra to one of Zalera Hub's quieter gardens, a lush oasis amid the metallic chaos where many came to negotiate or simply enjoy a moment of peace. Sitting beneath a sprawling, luminescent canopy that mimicked a daylight sky, Jack began the informal lesson. "So, Lyra, let's start with some basic phrases that might help you around here," Jack suggested, pulling out a digital notepad to jot down notes. "Very well, Jack. I am eager to learn," Lyra replied, her eyes reflecting the garden's gentle light. "All right, first things first. How much does this cost?" A crucial one for any trader. Jack smiled as he pronounced each word slowly, allowing Lyra to mimic his lip movements. Lyra repeated the phrase, her accent coloring the words interestingly. "How much does this cost?" Her voice held a melodic quality, turning the mundane inquiry into something almost enchanting. Perfect. You're a natural at this. Next up, can you show me something else? Useful when a merchant tries to sell you their entire stock, Jack explained, demonstrating the phrase. Lyra practiced the sentence, laughing lightly. Humans have many ways to be polite while declining an offer, she observed. It's an art form. Really, Jack agreed, chuckling. Now, how about we try something fun? Where's the best place to watch the stars? Oh, I like that one, Lyra exclaimed, practicing the sentence with a dreamy expression. Where's the best place to watch the stars? You've got it down, Jack nodded approvingly. You know, there's a spot just outside the hub that offers a stunning view of the nebulae rings. Maybe I could show you sometime. Lyra's face lit up. I would love that, Jack. Your language is as beautiful as your cosmos. They spent the next hour going over various expressions and phrases, laughing at each other's attempts and enjoying the learning process. Jack was impressed by Lyra's quick learning speed and her ability to pick up nuances of human expressions. As their lesson wrapped up, Jack proposed a walk through the commercial district to practice what Lyra had learned. The district was a bustling maze of commerce and conversation, perfect for a real-world test. Okay, Lyra, see that stall over there? The one with the colorful fabrics from Corazon? Jack pointed out a busy vendor a few meters away. Try asking the merchant about the prices. Lyra nodded, squared her shoulders, and approached the stall with a confident stride. Hello, how much does this cost? She asked the merchant, pointing to a vibrant cloth. The merchant, a grizzled old Korean, smiled and responded with a price. Lyra listened attentively, then used another phrase Jack had taught her. Can you show me something else? Jack watched from a distance, a proud smile on his face as Lyra handled the exchange beautifully. She returned a few minutes later with a small bundle of fabric, her eyes sparkling with accomplishment. I did it, Jack. And I even negotiated the price down using a phrase you didn't teach me. Lyra held up the fabric triumphantly. That's my star pupil, Jack laughed, delighted by her enthusiasm. Seems like you're ready to tackle any conversation now. As they continued to wander through the district, trying different foods and interacting with various vendors, Jack realized how much he enjoyed Lyra's company. Her curiosity and zest for life were infectious, and teaching her had given him a new appreciation for his own world. The day ended with a shared meal at a popular eatery where Lyra insisted on ordering for both of them using her newly acquired language skills. As they ate, they shared stories of their planets, finding more similarities than differences. This has been one of the best days I've had in a long time, Jack admitted as they walked back to the port under the glow of Zalera's artificial stars. Me too, Jack. Thank you for sharing your world with me, Lyra said, her hand brushing against his as they walked side by side, their new friendship deepening with each shared word and laughter. As the sun dipped below the horizon of Zalera Hub, casting an iridescent glow over the bustling spaceport, Jack and Lyra found themselves seated at a quaint cafe that overlooked the docking bays. Here, they could watch ships arriving from and departing to all corners of the universe, a perfect backdrop for the evening's cultural exchange. Jack had brought along a few gadgets from Earth, curious objects that sparked intrigue in Lyra's eyes. What's this? Lyra asked, her fingers gingerly exploring a small, metallic object. That's a harmonica, Jack explained, his eyes lighting up with enthusiasm. It's a musical instrument from Earth. Here, let me show you. He took the harmonica, placed it to his lips, and played a few bluesy notes that floated melodiously in the air. Lyra listened intently, her head tilted in fascination. It sounds like the wind singing, she remarked with a gentle smile. Exactly, Jack exclaimed. It's a piece of our culture, a way to express feelings through music. Do you have anything similar on Eridani? Lyra thought for a moment, then nodded. Reaching into her bag, she pulled out a small, crystalline device. We have this. It's called a surina. It translates thoughts into sound. She held it in her palm, and it began to emit a series of soft, harmonic tones, responding to her mood. Intrigued, Jack listened to the beautiful, otherworldly music. It's incredible. It's like nothing I've ever heard, he said, genuinely impressed. Your culture is full of wonders, Lyra. The exchange continued, with Jack showing Lyra a digital photo frame cycling through images of Earth, oceans, mountains, forests, and cities. Lyra was particularly captivated by the natural landscapes. Your planet has such vibrant life, she said, her voice tinged with a mix of wonder and a hint of envy. It does, Jack agreed. And I'd love to see Eridani through your eyes too. Lyra smiled, pulling up images on her device. They depicted a world of serene beauty, vast lavender fields, towering crystal structures, and cities that blended technology with nature. Jack was mesmerized. It's beautiful, Lyra. So different. Yet, there's a familiarity in its beauty. As they shared more about their worlds, the conversation turned to traditions. Lyra described the Festival of Lights on Eridani, where every city would glow with luminescent flowers. Jack countered with tales of Earth's New Year celebrations, where fireworks lit up the night skies. Feeling a deeper connection, they decided to experience a bit of each other's culture firsthand. Jack taught Lyra how to make a simple Earth dish, spaghetti. They laughed together in the cafe's small kitchen as Lyra tried to wrangle the slippery noodles, her first attempt at cooking an earthly meal. Meanwhile, Lyra taught Jack the Eridanian art of meditation, which involved syncing one's heartbeat with the rhythm of Eridani crystals. They sat side by side, crystals in hand, as Lyra guided Jack through the calming process. Focus on the crystal's pulse, she instructed softly. Let it guide your heart. Jack found the experience profoundly relaxing, a stark contrast to the usual hustle of his trader life. I feel at peace, he admitted, opening his eyes to find Lyra watching him with a gentle expression. As do I, she responded, her voice soft. Sharing our cultures like this, it makes the universe feel a little smaller, doesn't it? It does, Jack agreed, their hands inching closer on the tabletop, bridging the gap between two very different worlds with ease and mutual curiosity. As they left the cafe, the starlit sky above seemed to sparkle a bit brighter, reflecting the new bond formed under its vast canopy. Jack and Lyra continued their walk, comfortable in the silence between them, each lost in thoughts of the new worlds they had glimpsed through each other's eyes. Jack's ship glided through the cosmos, a sleek vessel against the backdrop of star-studded black. Inside, the mood was one of anticipation and excitement. Today, Lyra would set foot on Earth for the first time, and Jack had promised her a tour she'd never forget. As they entered Earth's orbit, Lyra pressed her face against the viewport, mesmerized by the blue and green planet spinning slowly below them. It's beautiful, she whispered, her voice full of wonder. It gets even better up close, Jack grinned, preparing for landing. Wait until you see it with your own eyes. The ship touched down near a coastal city, where the sea met the land in a dance of waves and sand. Stepping out, Lyra took a deep breath, the salty air filling her lungs. The air? It's so fresh, she remarked, a stark contrast to the recycled atmosphere of space stations and ships. Jack led her down to the beach, where they walked barefoot on the sand, the Earth's sun warm on their skin. This is one of my favorite places, Jack said. The ocean has a way of making you feel alive. Lyra laughed, her feet splashing in the incoming tide. I can see why humans love it. On Eridani, we have seas of liquid crystal. They shimmer but aren't wet like your water. Intrigued by her description, Jack suggested, you'll have to show me sometime. But first, let's grab some food. Have you ever tried seafood? I haven't, Lyra replied, curious. At a nearby seafood shack, they ordered an array of dishes, grilled octopus, shrimp tacos, and fish and chips. Lyra approached each new taste with an adventurous spirit, her face lighting up with delight at the flavors. It's incredible. The textures, the spices. Eating is an adventure on Earth. Jack laughed, enjoying her enthusiasm. Food is a big part of our culture. It brings people together. They spent the afternoon exploring the city. Jack showed her the bustling markets, the quiet parks, and the historic sites. At each location, they exchanged stories about their own worlds, finding joy in the similarities and differences. As the day turned to evening, Jack took Lyra to a rooftop garden in the heart of the city, where they could watch the sunset. The sky turned shades of orange, pink, and purple, a spectacle that had Lyra captivated. "Your sky changes colors like a mood ring," she observed, her eyes not leaving the horizon. "It's one of my favorite things about Earth," Jack admitted, watching her more than the sunset. "It's always changing, always surprising you." As the stars began to appear, Jack pointed out constellations, teaching Lyra how to recognize them. "That's Orion, and there. Do you see? That's Cassiopeia." Lyra traced the patterns with her finger, her expression thoughtful. "We have different constellations on Eridani. I like the idea that now, when I look at the stars, I'll think of Earth too." The night deepened around them, and the city lights flickered on, mirroring the starlight. Feeling a connection deeper than either of them had anticipated, they shared a quiet moment, the buzz of the city a soft hum below. "Thank you for showing me your world, Jack," Lyra said softly. "Today has been more than I could have imagined." Jack smiled, his heart full. "The pleasure was all mine. There's something special about seeing Earth through someone else's eyes. Makes it all new again." Together, they lingered on the rooftop, the Earth beneath them and the vast universe above, bridging two worlds with shared experiences and newfound respect. Jack realized that showing Lyra his home had not only introduced her to Earth, but had also rekindled his own appreciation for the planet he too often took for granted. As the evening deepened, Jack and Lyra found themselves back at his cozy beachside house, the soft sound of the waves blending with the distant hum of the city. They sat on the deck, a bottle of wine open between them, as they continued to share stories and laughter under the blanket of stars. "You know, Lyra," Jack began, pouring another glass of wine for both of them, "I've traveled to many places, met countless people, but tonight feels uniquely special." Lyra smiled, her eyes reflecting the soft glow of the deck lights. "I feel it too, Jack. There's a harmony here that I've never experienced before." Their conversation drifted from cultural differences to personal dreams and aspirations. As the night wore on, the air between them charged with an unspoken connection. Jack reached across the table, taking Lyra's hand gently. "Lyra, would you like to dance?" With a nod, Lyra stood, allowing Jack to lead her to a clearer part of the deck. No music played other than the rhythm of the ocean and the whisper of the night wind. They danced slowly, awkwardly at first, then finding a rhythm that suited them both. As they moved together, Lyra laid her head against Jack's shoulder. "On Eridani, we believe that dancing is a way to share souls," she murmured. Jack tightened his embrace slightly, mindful of her words. "Then let's share," he whispered back, feeling the moment deepen. The dance led them inside, where the soft sofa and warm lights beckoned. Seated close, their hands still entwined, Jack found himself lost in Lyra's luminous eyes. "Lyra, being with you tonight, it's like discovering a new part of myself." Lyra leaned in, her voice a soft caress. "And for me, each moment with you unveils a new layer of life." The air seemed to thin as they moved closer, the first tentative kiss deepening quickly into something more passionate. As their embrace intensified, Jack felt Lyra tremble slightly. Pulling back, he looked into her eyes, searching. "Is this okay?" he asked, the concern clear in his voice. Lyra nodded, her breath quick. "Yes, Jack, more than okay. It's like the stars are aligning just for us." Encouraged, Jack led her gently by the hand to his room, where the intimacy of their surroundings mirrored the intimacy between them. They kissed again, a slow exploration that was both new and impossibly familiar. Jack's hands traced the contours of her back, learning the texture of her skin under his fingertips. Lyra responded with equal curiosity, her touches both questioning and bold as she discovered the landscape of his shoulders, the slope of his neck. Together, they navigated this new terrain, each touch and kiss a discovery. As they finally lay together, the world outside faded to insignificance. Jack felt Lyra's heartbeat against his own, their breaths mingling in the quiet room. In these moments, words were unnecessary. Their bodies spoke volumes, each movement and sigh a testament to the connection they'd found. Afterward, they lay in silence, the gentle caress of the night wind through the open window cooling their warm skin. Lyra's head rested on Jack's chest, her hair a soft curtain around them. "Jack," Lyra whispered, her voice full of wonder, "tonight makes every star, every galaxy we've ever seen seem just a prelude to this." Jack kissed the top of her head, feeling a profound peace settle over him. "For me too, Lyra. Whatever happens next, I'm grateful for this, us." The night grew deeper around them, the sounds of the earth cradling their shared warmth. Jack and Lyra, a man and an alien, found a profound connection far beyond the stars they both called home. In the stillness, they shared dreams of what might come, each moment together building a bridge between two vastly different worlds, now intertwined. The morning sun streamed through the curtains, casting a warm glow across the room where Jack and Lyra still lay entwined. The tranquility of the dawn was a soft embrace, wrapping around them as they slowly awoke. Lyra was the first to stir, her eyes fluttering open to find Jack watching her, a gentle smile playing on his lips. "Good morning," he whispered, his voice rough with sleep. "Good morning, Jack," Lyra replied, her voice equally soft. She shifted slightly, propping herself on one elbow to look at him more directly. "Did last night really happen? Or was it a dream?" "It happened," Jack confirmed, tucking a stray strand of her hair behind her ear. "And it was as real as anything I've ever felt." Lyra smiled, her face radiant. "I never knew I could feel this way. With you, it's like discovering a new universe within myself." Jack's expression grew serious. "Lyra, what does this mean for us? I mean, you and I, we come from different worlds, literally. Where do we go from here?" Lyra considered his words, her gaze thoughtful. "I don't know all the answers, Jack, but I do know that last night, something shifted between us. I've read about human relationships, the complexities, and the deep connections you form. I want to explore where this could lead, if you're willing." "I am," Jack said quickly, his decision firm. "Last night made me realize how much I've come to care about you. I want to see where this journey takes us, together." Their conversation drifted towards practicalities, discussing what their unexpected connection might mean going forward. Jack suggested, "Maybe you could stay here on Earth for a while, see if it feels like home to you as well." Lyra nodded, a mixture of excitement and nervousness in her eyes. "I would like that. And maybe in time, you could visit Eridani. There's so much I want to show you." "As long as we're together, I'm ready for any adventure," Jack replied, his tone light, trying to ease the gravity of their discussion. They spent the morning in bed, talking about everything from mundane daily routines to their hopes and fears about the future. It was a new kind of intimacy, one that involved not just physical closeness but also a deep emotional connection. Eventually, they got up and decided to spend the day exploring more of Earth together. Jack took Lyra to a nearby city park, where they could blend in with the crowd. As they walked among the trees and flowers, they observed Earth families and couples, giving Lyra a first-hand look at human social dynamics. "Do you think we'll ever be like them?" Lyra asked quietly, nodding towards a young couple laughing together on a park bench. Jack took her hand, squeezing it reassuringly. "I think we can be whatever we want to be. It's not about being like anyone else. It's about finding what's right for us." As the day wore on, they continued their discussions about cultural differences and similarities. Jack was fascinated by Lyra's descriptions of Eridani rituals and social customs, while Lyra was eager to learn about human expressions of love and commitment. That evening, as they sat watching the sunset from the same beach they had visited the day before, Jack turned to Lyra, his expression earnest. "I know we come from different worlds, Lyra, but I feel like you've become a part of my world now. And I hope I can be a part of yours." Lyra leaned against him, her head resting on his shoulder. "You already are, Jack. No matter what the future holds, us, it's changed me. I'm grateful for every moment." Together, they watched the sky darken, the stars appearing one by one. It was a perfect metaphor for their relationship, something beautiful emerging from the unknown, each star a possibility, a future they could build together. The integration of their lives brought new challenges, as Jack and Lyra navigated both human and alien societal norms. A few weeks after Lyra decided to extend her stay on Earth, they found themselves at a bustling Earthside interstellar trade conference, a melting pot of human and alien cultures. "Jack," ever the confident trader, was in his element, but he was keenly aware of the curious glances cast their way. Lyra, for her part, embraced these looks with a mixture of fascination and amusement. "Jack, do you think they're staring because I'm an alien? Or because we're a couple?" Lyra whispered, her voice low but tinged with humor as they approached a booth manned by a particularly stern-looking Serration merchant. "Probably a bit of both," Jack chuckled softly, giving her hand a reassuring squeeze before turning to greet the merchant with a practiced smile. "Good morning. We're interested in your fabrics from Serratio." The merchant's eyes flicked between Jack and Lyra, his expression unreadable. "I see," he said slowly. "It is unusual to see our goods appreciated by such diverse clientele." Jack's smile didn't waver. "Diversity is what makes markets thrive, wouldn't you agree?" As they moved on with a new collection of samples, the underlying tension didn't escape them. It was clear that not everyone was ready to accept their unusual partnership. Later that day, while sitting in a quiet corner of the conference hall, Jack and Lyra discussed the reactions they had encountered. "It's different on Earth, isn't it?" Lyra mused. "On Eridani, diversity is celebrated more openly. Here, it seems more complicated." Jack nodded. "Humans have come a long way, but there's still a lot of ground to cover. But, remember, not all reactions were negative. Did you see how that group from Andromedae were intrigued by us? They seemed genuinely interested in how we've managed to bridge our differences." Lyra smiled, her optimism undimmed. "True. It's just a matter of perspective, isn't it? And maybe we can help change some of those perspectives." Their conversation was interrupted by a human couple approaching them. The man extended his hand to Jack. "Hi, I'm Tom, and this is my wife, Mara. We couldn't help but overhear part of your talk. We're intrigued. How do you handle the, cultural differences?" Jack and Lyra exchanged a glance, a silent agreement passing between them. This was their chance to share their story and perhaps foster understanding. "Well," Jack started, "it's about finding common ground. We focus on what brings us together, not what could drive us apart." Lyra chimed in, "And we learn from each other. I've adopted some Earth customs, while Jack has learned quite a bit about Eridani traditions." Mara looked at them thoughtfully. "That's quite inspiring. It must not be easy, but it seems like you two are making it work." "It's a journey," Jack admitted, "full of learning and adapting. But it's worth every step." As the conference continued, Jack and Lyra became unofficial ambassadors of their kind of unity. They spoke to many attendees, sharing insights and experiences. The initial curiosity and skepticism slowly transformed into a respectful interest. By the end of the day, as they walked back to their accommodation, Lyra squeezed Jack's hand. "Do you think we made a difference today?" Jack looked at her, his eyes full of affection. "I think we did, and we'll keep making a difference, one person at a time." They continued their walk, their spirits lifted not just by their success at the conference, but by the strength they drew from each other. In the face of societal challenges, their bond not only endured but also deepened, a testament to the power of shared love and mutual respect in bridging the vastest of divides. As the seasons changed, so did the life that Jack and Lyra built together. The once novel relationship had blossomed into a deep, unwavering partnership. They stood on the balcony of their shared home, looking out over the cityscape bathed in the soft glow of dusk. "Do you remember our first day here on this balcony?" Jack asked, his arm wrapped comfortably around Lyra's waist. Lyra smiled, leaning into his embrace. "How could I forget? You were trying to impress me with your knowledge of Earth's constellations, and you were pretending to be impressed," Jack teased, kissing her forehead. Lyra laughed, a sound Jack had come to cherish. "Maybe a little, but I was more impressed with your intention to make me feel at home." Their conversation turned reflective as they considered the future. "We've been through a lot, haven't we?" Jack said. "Do you think we're ready to take the next step?" Lyra knew immediately what he meant. They had discussed it before, making their partnership official, both on Earth and Eridani. "I think we are," she said seriously. "I want to be with you, Jack, officially, in all ways possible." Jack's heart swelled with emotion. "Let's do it then." Let's plan a ceremony that blends both our cultures. Something here and something on Eridani. Excited by the plan, they spent the evening making lists of what they would need. A ceremony on Earth, with its lush greens and blues, and another under the vibrant skies of Eridani. Each would honor the traditions of their respective worlds, symbolizing not just their union but also the bridge between their peoples. The following weeks were a flurry of activity. They contacted authorities from both planets, arranged for cultural exchanges, and sent invitations to friends and family across the galaxy. Jack found himself learning more about Eridanian customs, while Lyra took a deep dive into human marital traditions. Finally, the day of the Earth ceremony arrived. Set in a beautiful botanical garden, the event was a blend of Earth's nature and Eridani's aesthetics. Flowers from both worlds decorated the venue, creating a tapestry of colors and scents. Lyra looked radiant in a gown that shimmered with the light of her home planet, while Jack opted for a simple, elegant suit. As they stood before their guests, exchanging vows in both human and Eridanian languages, there was not a dry eye in the audience. "I promise to cherish our differences as much as our similarities," Jack vowed, his voice steady and sure. "And I vow to support you in all your endeavors, sharing in your joys and sorrows," Lyra responded, her eyes glistening with tears of happiness. After the ceremony, as they mingled with their guests, many commented on the beauty of the union and the hope it represented for future interactions between humans and Eridanians. The celebration lasted well into the night, with music from both cultures filling the air. Jack and Lyra danced under the stars, their hearts full. Months later, on Eridani, they celebrated again. This ceremony was marked by the rich traditions of Lyra's people, with vibrant music and a communal feast that lasted for days. Jack, now a part of the Eridani community, felt overwhelmed by the acceptance and warmth he received. As they stood on a balcony overlooking the Eridani landscape, Lyra squeezed Jack's hand. "What a journey it's been," she murmured. Jack smiled, looking out at the horizon. "A journey of 1,000 light years, all worth it to be here with you." They watched the twin suns set on Eridani, the sky ablaze with colors that had once seemed alien to Jack but now felt like home. Together, they had forged a path of unity, not just for themselves but as a beacon for all who believed in the power of love across the universe.